Mahalo Mamaro, and thank you for coming back to Heartbeat Narratives, a podcast about stories of joy where we explore our passions, places, and the people that we love. And I'm overjoyed today to have Kumu Karl Veto Baker with me to talk about what brings him joy. He is one of the Kumu Hula of Hālau I Ka Wēkiu. Mahalo for coming and talking story with me today.
Thank you for the invite. It's my pleasure to be here. And geez, what brings me such joy today? Well, I tell you, my life has always been centered around hula. And I am glad that I was in concert glee summer camp 1974, and this man came through the door. At that time, he was a member of the group called Sunday Manoa, and he's one of three guys. It's Peter Moon, Robert, and Roland Cazimero. And he was brought in to teach us dance. The concert glee guy says, when you went out to perform, we would have dancing, not just singing. So I was glad to meet him in August of 1974, and then in June of 1975 is when Hālau started, and now we're celebrating his 50 years of being a teacher. It's hard to imagine that much time went by. I can remember the first day, but I can't tell everybody what happened that day because he was ruthless back then. And he's so much calmer now, 50 years later. But it was because of him that I grew to love hula. And hula is a part of my life every day. Every day I do something that's a part of hula. Whether it be on the musical side or on the dance side, it's all encompassing. If I'm not doing research, if I'm not doing choreography or teaching. For the last 21 years, we've been teaching at Paoa. Our Hālau is about 27 years old, I think. And I don't think I would be saying this if I didn't meet that man. I'm only blessed by Akua bringing our paths together, and hula has been so fulfilling as a student. I mean, this man has taught me so much, has given me so much. And not just me, all the guys who've come through his turnstile. And all of us will say the same thing. As ruthless as he could have been back then. It's just amazing. So because of that, my daughter started hula when she was 5. My daughter gave birth to her 2 sons in Hālau. She had her midwives come to the Hālau, and that's where she gave birth to both her sons.
Wow.
And they've both taken to hula. The older one more than the younger one. But they both have such long hair. The mom hasn't cut their hair yet. And because hula was for them from her womb, they've been just surrounded with it, and they used to live with us until last year, so it's been around them for a lot. You know, now they're back at Hilo. So hula is a joy to have my grandsons in hula, and they love it. The so special. Such a blessing.
You're seeing the ripple effect of the dance, the storytelling throughout your family. What does it feel like when you're practicing either as a kumu hula or as a student? Do you feel a different part of yourself comes out when you're performing or practicing?
Well, when I started learning dance, it was during the Renaissance, and I couldn't get enough of it. I mean, if anybody went to the Punahou Carnival back then,
Like 1970s time?
yeah, 80s, 90s, where they used to have all the rides and the booths and everything packed with people. You gotta push your way through. Me and my hula brother, we're there, we're practicing hula in the crowd. That's how, and then my kumu was with us, so he had to stop us from doing hula with everybody there because we were blocking their path. But this was new and exciting, and I couldn't get enough of it. And when I was chosen to be in the ʻUniki class, I graduated in 95. I was chosen to be in a class in 93. I had a difficult time. In fact, I almost flunked because in my mind, I knew if I went to this class and graduated, I'm not going to be taking hula from this man who has been with me for 20 years. It took me 20 years to be a teacher. And what I learned after I graduated from my ʻUniki, that there was so much more to learn as a teacher. So the excitement took a new path. I had to be put in my place by my teacher because I didn't want to lose him, but at the same time he told me, it is my decision. If I think you're good enough to be a teacher, you're gonna do it. That's it. So I wised up and I said okay, and then I was the po'opua of the class. My 4 hula brothers, Manu Boyd, Moses Crab, Michael Casupang, and myself, and then Keola Kamahele was our olapa. So this took on a new part, new life to the hula. And that was in 95. In 98, we opened Hālau I Ka Wēkiu. We started on the slopes of Alewa at a school there that now is called ASICS, but it was something else. I forget. But we started there until we built our Hālau in 2004. And it is humbling, and it is gratifying, and it is all the feelings that you have in your body, in your being, when you see your students start and when you see them grow. Not just grow in age, but grow wiser in their regular lives as well as their hula lives. And when you see them, your students are now doctors and lawyers and construction and whatever paths they choose, teachers and nurses. It's amazing. And then they're making hula a part of their life. It's not hula is over here and my life is over here. Their families become a part of it. They cannot be successful in hula unless their families allow them this time for them. So I have to thank their husbands, their wives, their boyfriends, their kids, and hopefully their kids join the keiki class.
I know you're in the midst of crunch time preparing for Merrie Monarch in a few weeks.
Yes, Merrie Monarch. It's like the Super Bowl of hula, and Kumu Hula or Hālau need to be invited to participate. And we first were invited to Merrie Monarch in 2001, and we've taken several breaks during 2001 till now because you like to do other things as well, and it does cost a lot of money to take a group. Especially we have wahine and kane to go there. It is like fundraising is something that we have to do, but the thing I like about Merrie Monarch is it requires excellence from your students. They're giving of their time for this culture, this art form that we love dearly. As a kumu, when you see your students rise to the occasion, it is something. It's not easy to get all of that out of them. It takes time and it takes work from the kumu as well as the haumana to get to the Wēkiu, the summit. And when you see them peak and perform exactly what and how you wanted them to, it's so gratifying. It gives them foundation and a way of taking it to their normal life, whether they're a banker or a construction worker. They're going to try and do their best in whatever they do, whether it's their professional or their family life. And for us, that's the best thing that we can do for any student. We're not just hitting the gourd and making them do steps. It's just life building. Auntie Mikey, who was my kumu's kumu, said that hula is the art of Hawaiian dance, which reflects what you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you taste, what you touch, and what you feel. So it's all of our senses. And then if you take that, if hula is something which encompasses all of your senses, all of your being, then that's why we say hula is life. And if we can, as people, not just Hawaiians, but all people, use hula as an example, I think life would be such more fulfilling for many people. Because a lot of hula is based on love. And this year, we're celebrating our teacher's, Robert Cazimero, his 50 years of teaching. So everything we're doing is in celebration of this man who I consider a genius. He can be sitting on his laurels, but he's still relevant. He's still in the thick of things. He is at Merrie Monarch this year, entering. I salute him for his 50 years. And I can only imagine all of the guys who've gone through his door and have been touched by him. Your Kumu Hula is like a life force, and what we try to do is just give so much goodness to our students. And hopefully, when I'm teaching for 50 years, Not sure if I'm going to make that, but because we're going to be 30 years in a couple years, but that's a long time. Hula is my passion. Hula is my life. And I don't think I could survive without it, actually. I'm not sure if I even answered your question. But
you answered more than I ever even expected, so thank you. What you shared reminds me of what King Kalakaua said, that hula is the language of the heart, and therefore the heartbeat of the Hawaiian people. And it's clear that is what makes you light up and feel and give that abundance.
well, that's why King Kalakaua is the Merrie Monarch. He understood, and that's why he brought the hula back from the caves and from all the outskirts and brought hula to the palace, because he knew this is a way to rejuvenate his people, because we didn't have many of us left back then. They just died from 700,000 to 1,000,000 people down to maybe 40,000 at that point. And the prophecy was we were going to lose the Kamealoha dynasty, we're going to lose the land, and the only thing that could keep us afloat is if we keep our culture, Auia, which is a very prominent dance in our hula lineage. So that's something that cannot be stolen from us. That's something we can hold on to, and as Au'a means, is to be stingy with. And if we hold on to this culture, I think everything else we can work at getting back. But this part is important. I think as a product of the 70s, of the last major Renaissance, everything Hawaiian, which used to be shunned upon, you have to say, in the 60s, Hawaiians weren't even allowed to stand up and dance at Kamehameha schools. It wasn't until the 70s that we could even get off the floor.
I didn't realize it was that late.
Yeah. It was because it was ran by missionaries, and the hula was vulgar in their mind. So it wasn't till then that this Renaissance, and it wasn't just hula, it was everything Hawaiian. Kapa making, hokulea, everything started to become imported, the language. If we hold on to that, I think our future is really good. Really good.
I feel that in Hawaii, Hawaiian culture is the foundation of everything, a place to make life-giving and loving decisions from, to perpetuate that abundance that we always had prior to Western contact, because we were good for a long time.
Hawaiians believed in if you do something, it's going to affect something else. So they always took things in moderation. If you picked limu or if you went fishing, you took what you needed and that was enough. It wasn't like when they came in and harvested all of our sandalwood trees. And that comes down to that bunny situation. And that can be the evil of all things if we allow that to take over our lives instead of just being a part of the life. Yes, we understand we need money to do this and to do that and everything, but it's not the overall thing. The overall thing to have a wonderful life is to take care of your love for your family, your love for whoever you're in touch with, because aloha aku, when you give love, you don't expect something back in return. That's such a Western value. I'm going to give you something, but you got to give me something back. That is not the Hawaiian way. Aloha aku is to give of yourself freely. Aloha mai. And if you do that, you receive it back to you tenfold. Some people forget about that concept, and quite frankly, all these businesses in Waikiki forget about it because they use our aloha for their benefit. Oh, the Hawaiians are they have so much aloha, so we can have them do this for free, or we can have them do this for minimal amount because they're Hawaiians, That is so wrong. But all of these big business, they pay some rock star $10,000, but they're gonna pay a Hawaiian duo $500, and that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And many times, as a kumu hula, they always say, but it's good exposure for you. No, it's allowing you to take advantage of us, and that has to stop. That's really not aloha. If they did have aloha, then you would see more Hawaiians performing in Waikiki. It's a slippery hill sometimes, because I've been trained by a man where hula should be danced in the best of concert halls. If you're going to have the Bolshoi ballet dance there, then hula should be there. We cannot allow ourselves to be degraded. We cannot allow, just because we had to hide in the caves and way out there when we were shunned upon, we should take our hula and our music to the best venues. And that's why, like our kumu, if we're going to do the concert, we're going to do it at a good place, because we need our students to understand this is the level of hula, and hula should be played in these places. And I said, we might not be the multitudes, but we're going to do our little part to keep the level of this love for this art form at the level it should be at. If we love something dearly, you don't shun it, you lift it to its heights. And then from when you do that and you lift it to its heights, then your students, you, everyone, can show the love that our people had. And it could permeate the hall where you are. And I do get that kind of responses back from our concerts, because the people from the audience can feel that love that's coming from the stage. And there's no barrier there. The barrier goes up with the curtain, and our job is to touch the people out there and feel them, the love, and allow them to go through this wave of emotions, which really is love, because love is not just one emotion. Love takes us to several types of emotions. Am I getting too deep here?
I love this. I feel my own emotions rising up because I've seen hula over the years, and I grew up in Minnesota, and there are 2 halau in Minnesota, and I danced for my time in high school and college, and it was really what was helping me feel connected to Hawaii again. And when you're speaking, I feel that sense of aliveness and excellence and the bar that you maintain for the art form. But it's really just, I feel it in your words, but at the same time, hula, it can be wordless. It's, that sensory experience. I was watching a lot of your Merrie Monarch hula videos last night on YouTube, and I saw a video from 2003, and it was the Kane Kahiko, and it was He Aloha no Napua. And one of your dancers had this beautiful long hair, and he was the solo dancer at the beginning, and it was just the most beautiful performance.
Nick Davalis. He started growing his hair in 2000 as well, because he was a 99 grad from high school.
Wow. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole and just got chicken skin for a long time last night. Just the commitment that you've put into your students, your haumana, it's incredible. And even though I wasn't there in person, there was still something that translated through the video. But I imagine being there, feeling everything. And what does that feel like for you as a Kumu Hula?
Well, every year you try to teach your students something different, because I don't want to just, you want them to excel, but I don't want it just to be a competition. I want them to learn something. So whether it is making a lehulu, whether it's making a moina, a mat, a kahili, we all make our own lei, that it's not just the same old, you know. And as I mentioned to you, this year we're celebrating our Kumu's 50 years of dancing. And I was there at day one.
Really? Wow.
1975 was our first competition. It was at the Kamealoha bandstand. It was the Kamehameha competition. This was the beginning of the Renaissance, and the bandstand now is a new one. They used to have an old one there, ground level. The stage faced Diamond Head, and if you were on stage and you were dancing, it would have been a plethora of people out there just all hungry for hula. Just amazing. As a dancer, you were like, whoa, this is amazing, you know, all these people. And that was the start of it back then. So our kahiko, we decided to do something that we either wrote or researched, not one of his that he gave us, because our teacher, as much as it's okay to do his stuff, he likes to see what we can do. So we wrote one, the same saga of Halemano and Kamalālāwalu. Halemano was the guy who is in love with Kamalālāwalu. So the girls is about Laidihi, his sister, changing herself into a fish and swimming down the channels down to Hawaii Island, so she could find out who was this beautiful girl that he was always dreaming about. That was Kamealoha. That's the girls one, the Laidihi going. The others, the boys are doing after they broke up and years after they see each other. And he's in there doing a kilo game, and you have to chant when you do a kilo game. So he starts chanting and he sees her in the audience. And he starts saying, well, and he's calm, and he's talking about this love that they had, and it was just so wonderful. And all of a sudden, but he goes, oh wait, it went out the door, you stomped on me, and he started just getting really loud. So that's what the guys are doing. And it's just amazing for me because after they broke up, he learned how to chant. But he was throwing his heart out. The kilo game is everybody, the audience is there. And he is telling them what's happened. Can you imagine? And he starts off calmly. Then he goes off crazy because it's just too much. But when he sees her, he's like this lovey-dovey. And then he gets the kilo, he throws it, he hits the mark. Which means if he hits the mark, the queen gets him. So he can miss it, but he chooses to hit it. Loves her, but hits it anyway.
Complicated.
Yeah, complicated, right? So, yeah, that's what we're doing for Kahiko. Awana, we wrote a song for our kumu for his 50 years of teaching. And we start off with a song he wrote as a kai in Kohala. That's where his family's from. We come to our song, and then the hoi, when they leave, is something we wrote for his 30 years, when he was 30 years of teaching,
Wow.
20 years ago. And we talk to our girls and we say, our kumu always made us sing. So at the end, they're singing. And it's just amazing. So he got to come and see it a week or two ago. We said, come see it. And when he's heard them sing, which is the hoi, he goes to me like this. That hoi was pretty good, huh? Because he's not one to be, so dramatic. The hoi is pretty good, huh? Hey, you teaching them to sing. They're sounding better than my boys. But it gets those girls, allows them to get to know him a little more. And he's going to come this Sunday to see the boys. So I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, because we did that in our first competition. So I take 2 of those moves and put it in our number, just so there's a connection.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Awana, we do this song called Peʻahi or Makana. And when you hear the song, you wouldn't think that men would dance that song because it's on a slower side. But the storyline behind of it, about this love, Makana is the mountain. Peʻahi is the fern that grows around the mountain. So metaphorically, it's the man and the woman. And also, our kupuna used to take this papala wood, pack it on the back of them, climb a cliff on the top, and they would burn it, and throw it like fireworks. It would go off the cliff. And if your lover was down there, they would try to get themselves burnt to show their affection for this love. And the king and queen of the island would crest it. They would be on their canoes in the water, having a good time watching. But those with love would be under there trying to get a burn from that papala. And how? Because outside was dense, inside was not so dense. When it burned, the inside would blow. So that's why it became very fireworky. So it's our local fireworks.
Wow.
Papala tree. There's all kind of fireworks happening in this love story. We're taking them out of the traditional lei and shirt, that we're having them in malos in this. And it's slower. The first verse is talking about some kind of love. The second verse is another description of love. Then The fourth verse brings the first and second verse together. It's two. So you're having two separate conversations at the same time.
Wow.
So what happens is we have all five of them start. And then this first boy has the first verse conversation. These four boys have the second verse conversation. So there's two motions coming. And Lanakila and I are singing this. And when you have conversations, people get into their corners at first. So they believe in this boy believes in this. All of a sudden, these two guys turn around, they join him. Those two guys are still in their own conversation. By the end of the dance, all four turn and they're all in the same conversation. I think this is one of our best works. I'm not kidding. I cannot wait for them to do this because I don't know if the word is iconic. We've had several that are just memorable, but this is going to be one of them. So when our Kumu comes, I'm going to see what he says.
I can't wait to see this.
If he's memorable, if it's memorable, not for him. We will see. I'm excited at this point. I'm getting there. It takes me a while to get excited because as a teacher, you see the vision and it's way over there, and then you have to start doing the research first, and from the research then you start doing the choreography. From the choreography you start teaching them the mechanics of the dance. They learn the mechanics of the dance, but that's not going to take you to the Vekiu. What they have to learn is the intricacies of that meaning of that dance, not just the literal meaning. You have the 3 levels. That's what they have to get out. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part. That part takes you over top. When you have that spiritual part, it takes you right over the top, and people don't understand what happened. They just sit there and they just like, what happened? Wow. That's the feeling I need them to get. And, when you have guys, it's not easy for them to show love. They don't want to show that kind of emotion to anybody, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's pulling teeth, but it's coming. It's getting there. They understand because Devin, Kamealoha, Forrest wrote the song, and we flew them to Kauai to meet him, and for him to take them to Makana and to learn about the Peʻahi. So these guys firsthand have been there. Not about it's in books. So if you want, Easter Sunday at noon, Mid-Pacific Gym, Mid-Pacific, we have a ʻŌniki for family and friends. It's a live performance. All the families cannot go there, and you gotta get tickets. So if you have the time, come. Devin will be there. He's gonna be able to see it before Merrie Monarch. So I'm hoping he loves, because we said, are you okay if we do the song? Yeah, he goes, yeah. It's going to be our guys doing it though, not our girls. He goes, okay. And we're thinking of making this out of the box. Are you okay with that? Oh, I really like out of the box, he goes. And then I said, okay, we're going to put them in models. He goes, I like that. So, I wanted to make sure that he understood where we're taking this and get his blessing first before. So he's on board. So now hopefully when he sees it, he's still on board.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. It's like a slow unveiling, one person at a time, and then to larger audiences very soon. Mahalo, Kumu, for coming on to Heartbeat Narratives and sharing how hula makes your heart beat. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for making the questions easy for me. That just, just so I don't have to think so much. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate being here.
Mahalo everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Aloha.
Aloha.